Welcome to the deep dive. In the crypto world, things move incredibly fast. Announcements happen all the time.
They really do. Blink and you might miss something major.
Exactly. But sometimes an announcement comes out and then almost immediately things get really confusing, unexpected twists.
That happens a lot, especially when you have big names involved. And that's kind of what we're looking at today, right? This recent news about a crypto wallet.
Yeah, a wallet connected to a very public figure. The sources we've looked at initially reported a Trump-branded crypto wallet being announced.
Right. The announcement came from the team behind the Trump Memecoin, the official one, and also Magic Eden, the NFT marketplace.
Sounds pretty straightforward at first glance. Major platform, known Memecoin team.
It did. But that's where the story takes a turn, according to these sources. Almost right away, you get this wave of confusion and direct contradictions.
And not just from anyone, but from people very close to President Trump.
Precisely. His own family members stepping in.
It led one observer, mentioned in the material, to call the whole thing absolute chaos.
Which seems kind of apt, given the conflicting messages.
So that's our mission for you in this deep dive.
Yeah.
To untangle this, we're going to look at what exactly was announced according to the sources.
Who said what in response, who contradicted who.
And really, what does this whole episode reveal about all the different crypto ventures that seem to be linked, in one way or another, to the Trump name?
Yeah, we'll trace the companies mentioned, look at some previous incidents the sources bring up, and just try to piece together the picture based on the information we have.
Okay, let's unpack this deep dive for you. So let's start right at the beginning, the announcement itself.
Okay. So the sources state that on June 3rd, you had both Magic Eden and the team behind the official Trump Memecoin.
Right.
They put out statements saying they were launching the official Trump wallet, a partnership.
And this was shared through their official channels, their platforms?
Yeah, that's what the reports indicate. A clear announcement, official product, linked to the token, using the Trump name via Magic Eden.
Okay. Seems clear enough. But then, as you said, things got complicated fast.
Almost immediately. Because right on the heels of that announcement, you start seeing these counter statements.
And these are coming straight from the Trump family.
Correctly. Donald Trump Jr., for example.
Yeah.
The sources quote him saying very explicitly that the Trump organization has zero involvement with this wallet product.
Zero involvement. Wow.
And he added he knew nothing about it.
That's a pretty forceful denial, given his role in the family businesses.
It is. And interestingly, the sources also say he didn't just deny it. He also mentioned their own wallet project.
Oh, okay. A different one.
Yeah, he mentioned a wallet coming from their family's crypto platform, which is called World Liberty Financial, saying it was launching soon.
Huh. So that immediately suggests, maybe a competing project, or at least one that is authorized by them, unlike this other one.
Exactly. It plants that seed of doubt about the coordination here. And then Eric Trump also weighed in publicly.
What did he have to say?
He stated the wallet is not authorized by Trump. Again, pretty direct.
Very direct.
And he actually went a step further, sort of warning Magic Eden. He told them to be extremely careful using our name in a project that has not been approved and is unknown to anyone in our organization.
A direct warning to Magic Eden. And the sources point out something else interesting, too, about Barron Trump.
Yeah, his first ever post on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. He apparently echoed the same thing.
Saying what?
That the family has zero involvement with this wallet.
So you've got Don Jr., Eric, Barron, all saying, not us, not involved.
Multiple key family members, all publicly pushing back hard against this official wallet announcement. It's quite a contrast.
Yeah. And did the original announcers, Magic Eden or the Trump token team, respond to these denials, according to the sources?
Well, that's another point the sources highlight. As of the time the material was written, there was basically silence from the Trump token team, from Magic Eden, and from Magic Eden's CEO, Jack Lew, regarding what the family had said.
So the family denies it, warns one of the partners, and the partners who announced it just don't comment on the denial. That definitely signals a disconnect somewhere.
It certainly does. And, the sources then tried to dig a bit into who is actually behind this specific wallet that got announced, beyond just the initial partners named.
Right. What did they find there?
Well, they looked at the website for this wallet, the Trump wallet website.
Okay.
And it apparently describes itself as the official Trump wallet by President Trump.
Okay, still using that official language.
Right.
Yeah.
And it says that Magic Eden partnered with GetTrumpMemes.com.
GetTrumpMemes.com. So that's the entity named on the wallet site itself as the partner.
Correct. So the sources then followed that thread. Who owns GetTrumpMemes.com? Turns out it's owned by an LLC called Fight LLC.
Fight LLC. Okay.
And this is where the connections get, let's say, layered, according to the source material.
How so?
This Fight LLC is actually co-owned.
Co-owned by whom?
By a company that is affiliated with the Trump organization called CIC Digital LLC.
Wait, affiliated with the actual Trump organization?
That's what the source states, yes. CIC Digital LLC, affiliated with the Trump org, co-owns Fight LLC, along with Fight LLC itself, sort of a circular structure noted there.
Okay, that's interesting. CIC Digital, linked to the Trump org, co-owns the LLC that owns the website, partnered on the wallet the family is denying.
Exactly. And together, these two co-owners, CIC Digital and Fight LLC, reportedly hold a majority of the supply of the Trump token itself.
Wow. Okay, so the entities behind the website for this supposedly unofficial wallet actually hold most of the related Memecoin and include a company linked to the main Trump organization.
Yeah, that's the picture the sources paint. It definitely shows interconnectedness, even if the public messaging is completely disjointed.
It really does. The sources also mention an individual, Bill Zanker.
Yes, Bill Zanker. He's apparently listed on the documents for Fight LLC.
Okay.
And he also reportedly holds a lot of Trumpy tokens via that affiliated company, CIC Digital.
So he's involved with both LLCs in some way.
It appears so from the documents cited. And the sources note he's not new to this space either. He was apparently part of the team that helped launch the Memecoin originally.
The very token this wallet is for.
Right. And also involved in various Trump NFT collections and working on some crypto gaming project too.
So you have this individual, Zanker, and these entities, CIC Digital and Fight, deeply involved in the token, holding lots of it, connected to the Trump org affiliate.
And connected to the website partner for this wallet.
And yet the family says zero involvement with this specific wallet project.
It's quite the tangle.
What's really striking, too, is that the sources suggest this isn't like the first time we've seen this kind of public confusion or contradiction around crypto things linked to the Trump name.
No, it's not. If you look at the broader context provided in the material, they bring up a pretty recent example involving Trump Media and Technology Group.
The Truth Social parent company. Right. What happened there?
Well, the sources describe a kind of similar pattern. Report, then denial, then something else.
Oh, okay.
So on May 26th, there was a report, I think in the Financial Times, saying Trump Media was planning a big raise, like $3 billion.
Okay.
And part of the plan, according to the report, was to use some of that money to buy Bitcoin and maybe other cryptocurrencies.
All right. And Trump Media's response?
Initially, they denied the report. Flat out denial.
Okay, denied raising money to buy Bitcoin.
But then just a day later, the source describes it as a backflip.
A backflip? How so?
Well, Trump Media confirmed they were doing a capital raise, about $2.5 billion total.
Okay, slightly different amount.
Right, different structure too, like $1.5 billion from stock, $1 billion in convertible bonds. But the key part, they confirmed the purpose included purchasing Bitcoin.
Wow. So the very thing they denied raising funds for just 24 hours earlier, buying Bitcoin, they then confirmed was part of the plan for the funds they were raising.
Exactly. So that rapid shift, that denial, followed by confirmation, it kind of echoes the sort of conflicting signals we're seeing now with this wallet announcement and the family's pushback.
It does suggest, as the source material implies, maybe a pattern of inconsistent communication or maybe strategy across different entities using the Trump brand in crypto, or maybe even within the same entity sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely points towards some communication breakdowns or maybe just uncoordinated efforts happening under that umbrella.
And this whole situation, this wallet confusion, it does bring up some bigger questions. The sources themselves mention this.
They do. For example, one magazine headline referenced in the material specifically asked about potential conflict of interest and even insider trading questions related to some of these Trump crypto ventures.
And just to be clear, these are questions being raised because of these confusing situations and structures, right? Not established facts.
Absolutely. The sources are careful to frame them as questions prompted by the circumstances. But you can see why they arise. You know, when you have an entity affiliated with the main Trump org,
CIC Digital,
co-owning the company,
Fight LLC,
that owns the website,
GetTrumpMemes.com,
partnering on an official wallet that the family then publicly disowns. Well, that whole complicated web, plus the history, like the Bitcoin purchase reversal, it naturally leads people to ask these kinds of questions about who knows what, when, and if there are potential conflicts.
It really paints a picture of a fragmented landscape. Multiple players, maybe operating with different goals or levels of authorization, all under this one very public name.
Precisely. Which leads us to, the important part for you, the listener. Why does all this matter when you see news about high-profile crypto projects?
What's the takeaway here?
Well, it really underscores the need to look past the initial headline, maybe even past what an official-looking website says, especially with projects tied to big public figures.
You have to dig deeper.
You really do. You need to ask, who exactly is making this announcement? Who owns and runs the companies involved? Are the endorsements actually consistent? Is the family or the organization itself saying the same thing as the project promoters?
Yeah, because this shows, even if there are some links back to the official business side, like that CIC Digital affiliation,
Right.
it doesn't automatically mean the core figures like the family here have signed off on this specific project or are even aware of it in the way it's being presented.
Exactly. There seem to be different layers, different ventures, maybe operating with very different levels of coordination or approval. Verification is key.
So summing up this whole deep dive then, we started with what seemed like a straightforward announcement, an official Trump wallet from Magic Eden and the Trump token team.
But that was immediately contradicted very publicly and strongly by Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and even Barron Trump.
Right. They distanced the Trump organization and the family, pointed to their own separate wallet project coming soon, and basically said this Magic Eden one wasn't authorized.
And the sources then peel back the layers, revealing this web of entities like Fight Fight LLC, co-owned by the Trump org-affiliated CIC Digital LLC, holding most of the tokens, and involving individuals like Bill Zanker, who's connected to multiple Trump crypto projects.
A complex structure behind the scenes, despite the public disavowal. And this whole pattern of confusing messages isn't entirely new, echoing that recent situation with Trump Media and its Bitcoin plans.
Yeah, the sources really highlight how these related efforts can sometimes seem uncoordinated, maybe even working against each other publicly.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it, that the world of celebrity or high-profile crypto endorsements can be incredibly complex. The first story you hear might just be the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely. There can be a lot going on beneath the surface, sometimes conflicting information, different players with maybe different agendas.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with, based on everything we've unpacked from these sources, given these complexities, the tangled entities, the outright public contradictions we saw here, how should you approach any claim of official involvement or endorsement from a big name in the crypto space? What are the absolute must-ask questions before you take any announcement at face value?